Wasn't surprised at all.
No.
I mean, it seems completely makes sense, but that's exactly what I expected.
Yeah, it seemed like just a matter of time for him.
There's no way you can look like that in your 40s. I mean, he's preposterously jacked.
Black belt in jiu-jitsu. Again, buddy, this is how you know he's not thinking clear. You can't fight. I know you think you're tough, but there's levels to that. And he might be a tough guy. And there's a lot of tough guys. And I know he, walks barefoot and takes hits laying down and does enemas and he's tough in his world. There's levels to toughness, dude.
Joe Rogan has finally spoken out about the situation involving Liver King, confirming that he's ready to see the legal process unfold. Brian Johnson, widely known as Liver King, was released from a county jail in Texas on Wednesday after paying a $20 bond. His arrest happened because he was charged with making a terroristic threat against Rogan. Reports say Rogan felt unsafe due to Johnson's online posts, especially after Johnson publicly challenged him to a fight while using harsh and intimidating words. Authorities arrested Johnson at the Four Seasons Hotel in Austin, where he had been staying at the time.
Family coming over. Yeah.
And then these items for you.
I wouldn't take that word, anything, everything. Because Joe Rogan, we don't have to make videos to pretend anymore. All of this is happening. We're coming to you. I've challenged you man to man to a fight.
After being released, Johnson was given a restraining order that requires him to stay at least 200 yards away from Joe Rogan and his family. The court also instructed him to undergo a mental health evaluation within a week due to concerns about his psychological state and recent behavior leading up to his arrest. Despite these legal restrictions, Johnson quickly returned to Instagram, where he has over 3 million followers, and continued his aggressive approach toward Rogan. He once again expressed his wish to fight Rogan physically. In one of his videos, Johnson declared, "We came here to start a fight, and that's exactly what we're going to do." He directly challenged Rogan, saying, "I want to fight you man to man. Nobody will die, but I do hope we both end up getting hurt."
Coming to Joe Rogan's town, Austin. I was here before you, Joe Rogan. It's Texas. That's my home. This week you probably might need to worry about me. You probably need to worry about Joe Rogan more. You've never come across something like this. Willing to die, hoping that you'll choke me out all week, Joe Rogan. So when I'm like, hey, anybody know my name? Liver King. Who am I fighting? Joe Rogan.
In another post, Johnson mocked the situation by claiming that the Wi-Fi password at his hotel was "FU Joe Rogan," continuing to fuel the hostility between them. At one point, he even joked that maybe his real problem was with actor Seth Rogen instead, though many people didn't take this comment seriously given how serious his earlier threats had been. While staying at the hotel, Johnson wore an ankle monitor and mentioned that he had a curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. He posted a video of himself crawling on all fours down a hallway at the Four Seasons Hotel, a stunt that many saw as another attempt to get attention through strange animal-like behavior, something that has become his signature online. According to court documents and police reports, Rogan told Austin police that he has never actually had any direct personal contact with Johnson.
You get stoked when Joe Rogan goes on the carnivore diets?
I've heard about it, and anybody who's talking about this, I love it. You're helping me do my job. This is my purpose in life. And as much as it is what we eat, it's also what we don't eat. So to answer your question, I love it when people are talking about eating carnivorously. I think Joe Rogan shows that he has a transformation when he does it. I don't know why he does it longer.
Joe Rogan explained that he has never had any personal interaction with Brian Johnson. Their only connection was through Rogan's public discussions about him on his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience. During various episodes, Rogan spoke openly about Johnson's alleged steroid use and often made fun of his ancestral lifestyle, which promotes eating raw meats and rejecting modern living comforts. Many believe Rogan's harsh critiques triggered Johnson's angry responses, leading to his public threats and eventual arrest. After being released from jail, Johnson posted a video saying, "I'm here in Austin for one reason, family." He suggested that the real problem was that someone he viewed as a bully, presumably Rogan, underestimated how deeply personal and emotional public criticism can be. Johnson accused Rogan of encouraging others to join in and spread lies about him. He appeared to be referencing the Netflix documentary Untold, The Liver King, which came out in May. The documentary detailed Johnson's use of steroids and gave viewers an inside look into his controversial fitness brand through interviews with him, his family, and business associates. It showed how his empire rose to fame and then collapsed under scandal.
Because I fucked up. Because I'm embarrassed and ashamed. Because I lied. And I misled a lot of people. I've stated that this is a complicated as fuck topic, at least to me it is, because before social media, I was rich and anonymous, and after social media, I'm still rich, but no longer anonymous, and I never expected this kind of exposure in the public eye.
According to court documents obtained by outlets like TMZ, Joe Rogan was puzzled about why Brian Johnson had targeted him specifically. He reportedly shared with authorities that he was worried about Johnson's mental health and found the threats completely unexpected. Rogan emphasized that although they had never met in real life, he felt he couldn't ignore the situation and needed to treat it with caution. After Johnson was released from jail, he uploaded a video directly addressing Rogan, saying, "I'm picking a fight with you man to man" in the same video. Johnson admitted that Rogan would probably beat him in a fight because of Rogan's extensive martial arts background. Rogan is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, which Johnson himself pointed out. Despite acknowledging Rogan's skills, Johnson maintained his aggressive attitude and said he still wanted to fight, showing no signs of backing down even though he is under strict legal restrictions.
It's natural, but this guy literally right to my face would say, like, blatantly, I am natural.
There's some people that are really jacked that are natural.
For sure.
I fucked up.
I don't know if you guys are able
I
to
just
watch.
wanna
That's what I was leaning to, is just like, I feel like his overall body composition is pretty consistently represented. I don't think it's implants. So granted, then it's like, well, if it's unnoticeable, would you even...
You only see the stuff that's not good. You do steroids.
In one of the viral videos, Brian Johnson can be seen holding guns painted in gold while wearing a wolf pelt hat, further portraying his wild and primal image. During the video, he looked straight into the camera and declared, "Your rules. I'll come to you whenever you're ready," directly addressing Joe Rogan. Many viewers believed this dramatic presentation was meant to strengthen his savage persona and grab as much online attention as possible. Shortly after posting this threatening video, Johnson was arrested at the Four Seasons Hotel. Footage from the arrest shows police officers leading him out to a patrol car in the hotel's parking area. Following his arrest, Johnson faced formal charges for making a terroristic threat, as authorities stated his words created a genuine fear of serious harm. In his mugshot taken after the arrest, Johnson appears unkempt, with a full beard and messy hair. Staring intensely into the camera, police continue to investigate his online activities to determine how his posts and aggressive behavior tie into the criminal charges filed against him.
To wake up from that dream, that's a good feeling. And then anything else that you could break on me, break it on me. I hope that you won't feel me tap. That's never happening, tapping, because I have something actually to fight for. Actually, that's my family.
I know this is sort of like, what the fuck is going on there? And some of these clips might be a little bit humorous, but this is also not great. Like, you look at the comment section and everyone is genuinely like, oh my God, he's lost his mind. People are asking.
Brian Johnson, widely known as Liver King, has always presented himself as a barbaric, primal figure, gaining a huge following online by promoting his extreme raw meat diet and unusual health practices. He often shocks people with statements like, "Why would I eat vegetables when I can eat testicles?" and claims that his heavily muscular body comes from eating raw liver, bone marrow, and various animal organs. However, while many people were fascinated by his lifestyle, others remained skeptical, especially after it was revealed that he used steroids. In 2022, Johnson faced a $26 million lawsuit after admitting he had been taking steroids despite previously insisting that his physique was completely natural. This confession severely damaged his credibility, as his claim of being on was central to his brand image and a major selling point for the supplements and products he marketed, all of which were tied to his so-called ancestral living philosophy. The revelation also sparked wider debates about honesty and deception among fitness influencers.
What disappointment did you experience with the fans? What do you think they're thinking?
And they really know me. I mean, I first thing I do, I get up, I make a good morning story. I mean, I'm filming stories all throughout the day, every single day, to let people in.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know how really to answer this other than I let them all down, I said that I didn't do this thing. I said that I didn't do steroids this whole time, and I've been doing them. And so I think that when you're dishonest...
During an interview with Piers Morgan, Brian Johnson openly admitted his regret for lying about his steroid use. He told Morgan, "I feel like absolute garbage. I know I did something wrong. I lied, and I feel like I've let down an entire generation." These statements came after he faced intense criticism and backlash that completely shattered the image he had carefully built over the years. Despite everything that has happened, including his recent arrest, a restraining order, and being ordered by the court to undergo a mental health evaluation. Johnson continues to act as though he's untouchable. His aggressive posts and videos aimed at Joe Rogan show that he has no intention of backing down. Instead, it seems like he wants to keep stirring up drama rather than resolving the issue quietly. Many people now wonder if his ongoing actions will lead to even more legal trouble or force mental health authorities to step in, especially if he keeps ignoring court orders and using social media to target public figures for attention.
Crazy videos, use Joe Rogan's name to get attention, and it's just one big publicity stunt. Clearly, there is no end game. There's nothing happening with Joe. It doesn't matter that he's still in Austin. It doesn't matter that he's out of jail. Nothing is going to happen. And I think it's clear he's just faking this whole thing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like and subscribe for more.
Blue Scorpion. How do you get ready for a fight? How does Liver King get ready for a fight? Blue Scorpion. Then he's
As for Joe Rogan, he has mostly chosen to remain silent about this situation after giving his initial statements to the police. Many people believe that Rogan's earlier comments about Brian Johnson weren't personal attacks. Instead, his criticisms focused on Johnson's steroid use and unusual diet claims, which Rogan discussed in a broader context on his podcast for years. Rogan has used his platform to analyze and question various health and fitness trends, especially those promoted by influencers who make money from their followers by claiming to live extreme or unconventional lifestyles. In Johnson's case, Rogan's remarks were similar to how he scrutinizes others, aiming to uncover what's real and what's simply marketing hype designed to sell products or build an online brand.
I give a fuck when people do steroids in baseball, bro, because bottom line, you still gotta hit the fucking ball.
Yeah.
Like, that's just up, and I guarantee you Merkin would say the same thing.
Yeah, why do people get, like, so, like, you seen the shit with, like, the Liver King and stuff, like, he came out and said he's not an addict and all that shit. I don't really give a fuck. That's
I don't either.
I don't care.
Dude, I even think about it sometimes. Like, sometimes you get that thought, like, damn, well, that's just
the thing.
Long before the recent controversy, Joe Rogan had already criticized Liver King for repeatedly trying to appear on his podcast with Joe Rogan Experience. Despite Johnson's constant efforts to get invited, Rogan showed no interest in having him as a guest, as he prefers to interview people he genuinely finds intriguing or insightful. Although Johnson built a massive online following by promoting his raw meat diet and primal lifestyle, Rogan remained unimpressed by his claims and antics. Rogan's doubts about Johnson only grew stronger after it was revealed in late 2022 that Johnson had been using steroids. This revelation confirmed many people's suspicions that his muscular physique wasn't just the result of eating raw liver and following an ancestral diet, but rather came from performance-enhancing drugs that he had long denied using.
Why do you not tell people about your steroid usage?
Because of what it implies. I think a better question really is, it's the same question, do you take things? My answer has been the same because I've always told the truth. And you can say or think whatever you want.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, this is what my message is really all about. Did you know 50 years ago, we had on average 50% higher testosterone? If you just think about that, we could probably go 50 to 100% higher just by doing the 9 ancestral tenets. Isn't that what most people do with steroids? To increase their testosterone by 50 to 100%?
Brian Johnson is widely recognized for his massive, heavily muscled body, which has often sparked heated debates online. Many people questioned how his physique could be so extremely muscular with such low body fat, noting that it seemed nearly impossible to achieve naturally. Despite this, Johnson continued to insist for years that his results came purely from following an ancestral diet and maintaining intense discipline in his workouts. For a long time, he denied using any performance-enhancing drugs, building his brand around the idea that he was a fully natural bodybuilder and health entrepreneur. However, that image started to fall apart when leaked emails exposed the truth. These emails showed that Johnson was actually spending over $10,000 every month on steroids and various other substances to maintain his appearance, revealing that his entire narrative of being all natural was based on lies.
There's a great line between who you are and what the lie is. So what I'm seeing here is that the guy's realizing, like, shit, now, you know, I fucked up. I know that it was wrong, but then I was justifying it because I'm not an athlete. I'm justifying because, you know, even though people ask me, did you take this? You said no. It was a plain lie. But in his mind, it was lying for a reason. And those are the things that we have to be careful on. When we are telling a lie, and what we know is a lie, but we're justifying it, thinking that it's a greater good.
When the truth about Johnson's steroid use came out, it sparked a huge backlash across social media. Among those who criticized him the most was Joe Rogan, who had long suspected that Johnson's claims of being completely natural were false. Rogan didn't hold back on his podcast, directly calling out Johnson's dishonesty and labeling his behavior as manipulative. Rogan explained that Johnson's constant attempts to appear on the Joe Rogan Experience seemed like part of a strategy to shape public opinion in his favor. According to Rogan, Johnson was trying to use his podcast as a way to control the narrative and maintain his carefully crafted image. despite knowing he wasn't telling the full truth to his audience.
What do you think about the Liver King shit, bro?
Man, I mean, did you see the apology thing?
I did a bit, yeah. But didn't like everyone knows he's on steroids.
Well, the thing everyone knows, right? But like, it's different because he's out there saying, "I'm not on steroids. I'm not on steroids. That's the tenets. It's these things," and it's like, fuck. Everyone knows in the community, but like the majority of the public likely.
So you knew, like,
bro. I mean, it's like, come on. All the other
During one of his podcast episodes, Joe Rogan shared that he had seen Brian Johnson in person several times. He recalled spotting Johnson sitting in the front row at a show in Las Vegas, and again at a boxing event featuring Canelo Alvarez. Rogan noted that it was obvious Johnson was making every effort to appear on his podcast. He's been trying really hard to get on, Rogan said, adding that Johnson even reached out to some of Rogan's friends to help make it happen. However, Rogan criticized the idea of giving Johnson a chance to explain himself on such a big platform. He questioned what Johnson could possibly say that would matter now, considering the truth about his steroid use had already been exposed. Rogan concluded by saying it was clear Johnson had been running a scam for years, and he was simply dealing with the fallout of his own deception.
I cannot even believe that this is real, but it is real. The Liver King was arrested.
All right, I've got a breaking exclusive for you that I got from our sources. The Austin Police Department, as we speak, is on their way to a hotel in downtown Austin to arrest the...
After the steroid scandal broke out, Brian Johnson was forced to come forward and publicly apologize for lying to his followers. As part of his apology tour, he appeared on Piers Morgan's show, where he admitted that he had misled millions of people who trusted his claims, and he confessed that he felt like he had completely let them down. Despite making these apologies, Johnson continued to embrace his Liver King persona on social media. He maintained his loud, aggressive style and continued portraying himself as a primal, fearless character. In recent weeks, his behavior took an even stranger turn with a series of bizarre videos directly targeting Joe Rogan. These clips showed Johnson making erratic statements and issuing open challenges to fight Rogan, using dramatic and often vague threats along with theatrical symbolism to convey his message. His actions eventually led to his arrest on charges of making a terroristic threat. Police stepped in after he posted multiple videos openly declaring his desire to fight Rogan, with his aggressive and unstable behavior raising concerns about public safety and his own mental state.
Liver King, because he's been making a lot of bizarre, cryptic threats to Joe Rogan, and that he's going to come to town and fight him, and now he's there and has posted videos that are very, very direct threats. And so I am told that he's going to be arrested for terroristic threats. And that just shows how crazy society's going. In the videos, he looks extremely deranged with dilated pupils. And so we hope the Liver King gets better.
In several of his videos, Brian Johnson avoided mentioning Joe Rogan by name. Instead, he used indirect references, calling him someone whose name rhymes with Rogan, or even jokingly saying Seth Rogen, despite it being obvious that he was talking about Joe Rogan, especially when he mentioned Rogan's comedy club, the Comedy Mothership, in Austin. After his arrest, Johnson uploaded another video discussing his legal troubles. Even then, he didn't say Rogan's name directly, but included enough clues and details that made it clear to everyone exactly who he was referring to in his statements.
We got to talk about Liver King. Do you know that our podcast was the first public forum where he was asked about doing steroids and then he got exposed for being on a load?
If you ask me, yo, how would you describe Liver King in person? He is a sweet man.
But so smelly.
Like, if you were to die in Coney Island and your body wasn't discovered for like 13 to 17 days, that would be the smell that is secreted from his armpit.
In one of his videos, Brian Johnson talked about the Comedy Mothership, Joe Rogan's comedy club, and mentioned a mysterious box that police had initially thought might be something dangerous. Addressing Rogan indirectly, Johnson said, "That terroristic threat you thought was a bomb or something inside that box, it's actually a gift for you and everyone at your mothership." The meaning behind his words was confusing, as he didn't clearly explain what he meant by calling it a present, leaving viewers puzzled. Much like his earlier posts, his statements followed a scattered, rambling pattern, making it difficult for anyone to fully understand his intentions.
The Liver King thing drives me nuts because that guy's on steroids. Well, just shut the fuck up.
Well, so
I know he's eating really healthy. It's clear he's eating all these animal foods and, you know, he's eating organ meat, which is very rich in nutrients. All that's true, but he's dodging the main bullet.
Well, it's too late for him now because he said no.
Yeah.
So if he is even on TRT, he should come out and just say it.
Well, look at him.
Because, yeah, I mean.
Just, do you know how rare it is to have a physique like that and not be on steroids?
In his videos, Brian Johnson revealed that he was now required to wear an ankle monitor and was under a restraining order, which legally stops him from coming within 200 yards of Joe Rogan and his family. He also shared that the court had ordered him to undergo a psychiatric evaluation, starting that week and continuing with monthly check-ins to assess his mental health despite these serious legal restrictions. Johnson kept uploading videos to his social media platforms, insisting that he wouldn't stop sharing content anytime soon. In these posts, he spoke in a vague and cryptic way about venom fights and hinted at a possible reconciliation in the future. He ended one of his videos by saying, "At some point, you have to capitulate something. Real tension, real fight," leaving viewers unsure about what exactly he meant by those words.
Bad people in every walk of life, and Liver King is a bad person. So you have to just, I mean, honestly, you have to find people that speak to things that make sense. You have to do your own research, and then you kind of have to, you know, kind of figure out who to believe, who to trust, and kind of go with that. Does that make sense? Like you have to do your own research and
the conflict between Joe Rogan and Brian Johnson goes back to Rogan's open criticism of Johnson's entire image and message. Rogan often mocked the idea that Johnson's massive muscular build came just from eating raw liver, bone marrow, and rejecting modern foods. He described Johnson as ridiculous and called out his claims as lies designed to create a fitness empire, according to Rogan. Johnson's deception wasn't just about personal branding. It was a dangerous marketing tactic that misled millions of people into believing that his so-called ancestral lifestyle alone could achieve those results. Rogan felt that this kind of dishonesty could negatively impact the health decisions of many followers who trusted Johnson's words without knowing the truth behind his appearance.
You're shredded. All you got to do is go get implants.
Are you
Should I do that? So they're like $10K each.
No,
I'm
you're not
rocking
implants.
100
No,
fucking
dude,
K worth of.
Those are implants?
Dude, you think somebody get a feel on that? And they don't move. They don't fucking move.
When Brian Johnson finally admitted to using performance-enhancing drugs, it confirmed what Joe Rogan had believed all along. The leaked emails revealed that Johnson was taking multiple substances, including high doses of human growth hormone, to maintain his muscular build. Reacting to this revelation on his podcast, Rogan said, "You were running a scam and you got caught." He pointed out that Johnson had tried many times to come on his show, hoping to control the damage and repair his public image after being exposed. Rogan made it clear that he wasn't interested in giving Johnson a platform to rewrite the story. According to Rogan, if someone builds their brand on deception, then they should be ready to face the consequences of their lies. What's your opinion on this situation? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates like this.
See events did he try and kind of like cozy up?
He was front row at one of my shows in Vegas.
Oh, damn.
At the MGM. And then I saw him again at the Canelo fight. He was trying really hard to get on the podcast. And he's been trying really hard to get on now. He contacted a few friends of mine.
Yeah, he told me he's trying to get on.
Yeah, for what? For what? Say that more? Like, come on, this is dumb, man. This is a fucking, you ran a con game and you got busted.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that you feel terrible. I'm sorry you